Hello, James here. I was trying to use my kind of block out the light in here, so hope you don't mind it. I want you to hear this video on TikTok about this is Sundown Towns, and I'm going to show you a video. If you're African American Black, this is for you. But also at the end of it is going to be something very positive, because I'm going to show you where people are going and where they're going. But let's hear his story about Sundown Towns.
Bullshit. That's going on in our country. I want to talk about Sundown Towns. Sundown Town is an all-white community or county that excludes black people and other people of color through discriminatory laws, harassment, threats, and violence. This may go without saying, but they're called Sundown Towns because if you're not white, you need to be out of there by sundown. At one point, there was an estimated 10,000 sundown towns in the United States, and although that number may have gone down, it would be ignorant as fuck to think they all just completely disappeared. I'm not trying to freak anybody out or anything, I just think this is an important issue to bring awareness to, and I just want y'all to be safe. Here's a list of towns and counties that were, at least at one time, a sundown town. Now, are they still? I have no idea. This topic is kind of hard to do research on. This is the best list I could come up with. States I put up here all had too many to fit in. If you know of any current sundown towns, put it in the comments. Let's try and keep some people safe. With all the racist-ass bullshit that's going on in our country, I want to talk about Sundown Towns. Sundown Town is an all-white community or county that excludes black people and other people of color through discriminatory laws, harassment, threats, and violence. This may go without saying, but they're called Sundown Towns because if you're not white, you need to be out of there by sundown. At one point, there was an estimated 10,000 sundown towns in the United States, and although that number may have gone down, it would be ignorant as fuck to think they all just completely disappeared. I'm not trying to freak anybody out or anything, I just think this is an important issue to bring awareness to, and I just want y'all to be safe. Here's a list of towns and counties that were, at least at one time, a sundown town. Now, are they still? I have no idea. This topic is kind of hard to do research on. This is the best list I could come up with. States I put up here all had too many to fit in. If you know of any current sundown towns, put it in the comments. Let's try and keep some people safe. With all the racist-ass bullshit.
So that's coming from a guy that did some research on sundown towns. Oops. Excuse me, I'm going to readjust this. But yet, as a Black Americans, particularly Black Americans, here are the cities that Black Americans are leaving.
With Save to Win, rather than earning dividends, you earn a chance to win up to $10,000 for every $25 you save. Here's how it works. Open a Save to Win account. Every $25 saved in your Save to Win account earns you an entry for a chance to win cash.
Black Americans are departing northern and western cities, citing various reasons for their migration. Between 2010 and 2020, New York City's Black population decreased by 3.6%. while Chicago saw a decline of 9.2%. In San Francisco, the Black population dwindled by 19.4%. These shifts are driven by factors like high housing costs, where the median home price is $1.4 million in San Francisco, and limited economic opportunities. Educational disparities persist, with Black students in New York City being less likely to attend specialized high schools. Additionally, COVID-19 highlighted systemic inequalities, prompting some to seek better living conditions elsewhere. As cities grapple with these challenges, equitable policies and community investments are crucial to retain diverse populations. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, renowned as the Windy City, stands as a cultural hub and economic powerhouse. However, beneath its vibrant facade lies a troubling trend: the departure of its African American populace. Contributing to this exodus are soaring crime rates, with 89% of homicides victimizing Black residents, alongside limited employment opportunities. Between 2000 and 2010, over 200,000 African Americans left the city, a trend persisting to date. Gentrification and escalating living costs further propel families from their neighborhoods. Consequently, from 2000 to 2020, Chicago's Black population dwindled by 250,000, marking a 20% decrease. Urgent action is imperative, calling for targeted community investment and equitable policies to to reverse this alarming trend. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, once an industrial juggernaut, faces a concerning trend, the departure of its African American population. Factors driving this exodus include economic challenges and a lack of opportunities. From 2010 to 2020, Detroit witnessed a staggering loss of 55,000 black residents, reflecting a 10% decline. High unemployment rates, hovering around 20% for African Americans, contribute significantly to this trend. Additionally, issues like inadequate public services and educational disparities further exacerbate the situation. Gentrification and rising housing costs also play a role, displacing long-standing residents. Urgent intervention is crucial to address systemic issues and foster an environment conducive to the prosperity and retention of Detroit's African American community.
Alright gang, what if I told you that I, Hillary Burton Morgan, your old friend from MTV, One Tree Hill?
New York City. New York. New York City's African American population is dwindling for multifaceted reasons. Between 2010 and 2020, the black population decreased by 5.4%, with nearly 200,000 residents leaving. High housing costs are a major factor, with the median home price exceeding $800,000. Additionally, the pandemic exacerbated economic disparities, with black unemployment rates reaching 20% in some neighborhoods. Educational opportunities remain unequal, with only 10% of black students admitted to specialized high schools. Rising crime rates also contribute to the exodus, with over 70% of shooting victims being black. As a result, families seek safer, more affordable communities. Addressing these issues demands comprehensive solutions to ensure the vibrancy and inclusivity of New York City's diverse population. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In recent years, Philadelphia has witnessed a concerning trend, a notable exodus of African American residents seeking greener pastures in other cities. Census data reveals that from 2010 to 2020, Philadelphia lost approximately 41,000 black residents, marking a 4% decline in their population. Economic opportunities, housing affordability, and racial tensions are among the primary reasons cited for this migration. With rising living costs and limited job prospects, many find themselves seeking better prospects elsewhere. Additionally, instances of racial injustice and systemic inequalities have fueled feelings of disenchantment and prompted some to seek communities where they feel more welcomed and supported. The departure of black residents poses challenges for Philadelphia's diversity and economic vitality. Efforts to address these issues and create a more inclusive environment are crucial for retaining the city's vibrant African American community. Los Angeles, California. Over the past decade, Los Angeles has experienced a notable trend, a significant outflow of African American residents relocating to other cities. Census data from 2010 to 2020 reveals that Los Angeles witnessed a decline of approximately 7% in its black population, equating to around 88,000 individuals. This migration is primarily attributed to several factors, including the city's high housing costs, limited job opportunities, and the effects of gentrification. Many African American residents find themselves struggling to afford living expenses or facing displacement from their neighborhoods due to rising rents and property values. Additionally, systemic racial inequalities and tensions contribute to feelings of disenfranchisement and prompt some to seek communities offering greater support and opportunity elsewhere. Addressing these challenges is crucial for ensuring the retention and well-being of Los Angeles' African American population. Cleveland, Ohio. Why is Cleveland, Ohio witnessing a significant exodus of its African American community? Census data from 2010 to 2020 paints a concerning picture, a decline of approximately 15% in the city's black population, equating to around 38,000 individuals. What factors are driving this trend? Economic challenges, limited job opportunities, and stagnant wages raise questions about Cleveland's ability to provide for its African American residents. Is the high cost of living and housing affordability pushing people away? Are concerns about safety, education, and community support not being adequately addressed? What can Cleveland do to reverse this trend and retain its vibrant African American population? As the city grapples with these questions, addressing systemic issues and fostering inclusivity becomes crucial for its future growth and prosperity. Baltimore, Maryland. Nestled along the Chesapeake Bay, Baltimore, Maryland faces a troubling trend. Its African American community leaving for other cities due to rising crime rates and limited economic opportunities. Baltimore consistently ranks among the most dangerous cities in the U.S., with a violent crime rate of 1,833 incidents per 100,000 people. Over 60% of its population is African American, yet they face an alarming 11.5% unemployment rate, far above the national average. Limited access to quality education and affordable housing compounds the challenges. These factors drive many to seek safer environments and better prospects elsewhere. The loss of this vital community underscores the urgent need for comprehensive solutions. As Baltimore aims for renewal, addressing these issues is paramount to fostering a more inclusive and thriving city for all residents. Jackson, Mississippi. In the heart of Mississippi, Jackson is a city steeped in history and culture. However, recent years have seen a concerning trend emerge: the departure of its African American community to other cities. This migration is fueled by pressing issues such as economic hardships and limited opportunities. According to recent statistics, Jackson's poverty rate stands at a staggering 26.8%, significantly higher than the national average. Furthermore, the unemployment rate among African Americans in the city is nearly double that of white residents. With limited access to quality education and healthcare, many find themselves seeking better prospects elsewhere. The departure of such a vital community not only impacts Jackson's cultural fabric, but also underscores the urgent need for comprehensive solutions to address systemic issues. As Jackson strives for progress and inclusivity, tackling these challenges head-on is essential to creating a brighter future for all its residents. St. Louis, Missouri. Once known for its rich history and vibrant culture, is now grappling with a troubling trend: the departure of its African American community to other cities. This migration is driven by pressing concerns such as escalating crime rates and economic disparities. Statistics reveal that St. Louis consistently ranks among the most dangerous cities in the United States, with a violent crime rate nearly 4 times the national average. Moreover, African Americans in St. Louis face a poverty rate of over 26%, significantly higher than the national average. Limited access to quality education and employment opportunities further exacerbates the challenges. As a result, many community members feel compelled to seek safer environments and better prospects elsewhere. The departure of such a vital demographic not only diminishes St. Louis's diversity, but also underscores the urgent need for comprehensive solutions to address the underlying issues plaguing the city. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Once known for its industrial prowess and cultural vibrancy, is now facing a distressing reality: the departure of its African American community to other cities. This trend is propelled by alarming statistics, including a poverty rate of over 30% among African Americans in Milwaukee, significantly higher than the national average. Moreover, the city grapples with high rates of violent crime, with over 1,200 incidents per 100,000 residents, according to recent data. Limited access to quality education and employment opportunities exacerbates the challenges facing the community. As a result, many are seeking refuge elsewhere in search of safer environments and better prospects. The loss of such a vital community not only diminishes Milwaukee's diversity, but also highlights the urgent need for comprehensive solutions to address systemic issues and ensure a brighter future for all residents. Thanks for...
Did you know that Black Americans make up about 13% of the population? Black or African American is defined by the U.S. Census as a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. What's the difference between Black and African American? Well, that depends on who you ask, but generally, Black refers to race, while African American refers to ethnicity. A recent Black immigrant who has not yet become an American would obviously not be African American. Then there's Elon Musk, who is technically the richest African American in the US, but he's white. So, there's that. For this list, we will look at the 10 US states with the highest population of Black Americans. Why would anyone want to know this? For many Black Americans, finding a community of people with similar experiences is important. Atlanta, for example, is the city with the highest percentage of black-owned businesses, so there's no question that young black entrepreneurs would want to consider location when opening a business. So without further ado, here are the states with the highest percentage of black people living in them. Stay tuned to the end for the least black states. Number 10 is Virginia, with 20.1% being black. The first 20 enslaved Africans from Angola landed in Virginia in 1619 on a Portuguese slave ship. So the history of black people living in Virginia is as old as the European settlements. Jamestown was the first European colony in Virginia in 1610, and it only took 6 years for them to bring enslaved people. One of the most famous black Americans to hail from Virginia was Booker T. Washington. Between 1890 and 1915, Washington was the main leader in the African American community and of the contemporary black elite. Since then, many other famous black people have come from Virginia, including actress and comedian Wanda Sykes, rapper Missy Elliott, and singer Pharrell Williams. Virginia is home to hundreds of black-owned businesses, including boutiques, restaurants, clothing shops, bakeries, salons, and jewelry stores. The Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce highlights many of these businesses for those that want to support the black community of Virginia.
The future of legal work is here.
Number 9 is North Carolina, with 22.1% being black. Like every state on this list, black people first arrived as enslaved people to support the South's agricultural economy. In 1669, when the colony was chartered by King Charles II in 1663, its first constitution explicitly mentions enslaved Africans. Slavery got off to a slower start than in Virginia, mainly because of the state's rugged and often treacherous coastline and poor harbors. In 1712, there were only 800 black people living in the colony, but by 1767, there were 41,000. Today, there are museums, monuments, and historical centers all over the state to honor the contributions of black Americans throughout the state's history. The Gantt Center, for example, is Charlotte's destination for African American art, history, and culture. There is also the Nina Simone Plaza to honor one of the state's most famous residents of any race. Nina Simone was an American singer, songwriter, pianist, composer, arranger, and civil rights activist. Her music spanned multiple styles, including classical, folk, gospel, blues, jazz, R&B, and pop. Greensboro was the site where 4 freshmen in 1960 sat in a whites-only section of a local diner. The famous sit-in exemplified the courage of young black Americans who fought so hard for basic equality. The International Civil Rights Center and Museum of Greensboro highlights their bravery along with thousands of others. Number 8 is Delaware, the first state in America, with 22.7% being black. Historical documents record the first black person in the Delaware Territory was a man called Anthony, who was captured by the skipper of the Grip in 1638. In 1721, it was estimated that only 500 enslaved people lived in the Delaware area. In 1775, that number is believed to have grown to anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000. Though Delaware remained a slave state throughout the Civil War, it fought against slavery with the North and remained part of the Union. Flash forward to the 1950s, and Delaware represents an important place in the climactic series of cases that made up Brown versus Board of Education. Brown versus Board of Education was a landmark Supreme Court case that determined that state-sanctioned segregation of public schools was a violation of the 14th Amendment and was therefore unconstitutional. Delaware's black communities endured the same conditions of separate but equal as southern states, despite Delaware not being traditionally lumped in with the South. Gebert versus Belton took place in Wilmington and became one of the 5 lawsuits that culminated in the ruling on Brown versus Board of Education. Despite many modern black-owned businesses in Delaware reporting a feeling of economic disparity anywhere from bank loans to property leasing, black-owned businesses are thriving in Delaware. The state has black-owned businesses in a plethora of sectors, ranging from art galleries to trendy cafes. Number 7 is Alabama, with 26.5% being black. This takes us into the Deep South, which is probably no surprise. Its reputation precedes it, so there's no point in hashing through its history. What does modern-day Alabama have to offer black people? The answer is simple: community. The Great Migration from 1910 to 1970 saw a mass exodus of black Americans fleeing the Jim Crow South and heading to cities like New York and Chicago, but the 2020s have brought a new surge in reverse migration. Many black Americans from northern cities are returning to the Deep South, despite their own preconceived notions of what that would look like. Many black Chicagoans cite a cheaper cost of living, tight-knit Christian communities, slower pace of life, better public schools, and deeply rooted Christian values as a reason for heading back to Alabama. And for many of them, it turned out to be a great decision. Despite its sordid past, Alabama is part of the Bible Belt, and black churches can be found on every corner. As politics shift and big cities are seeing an uptick in crime, homelessness, and unaffordable housing, the Great Migration is now pointed back towards Alabama. Alabama was ground zero for the civil rights movement, from MLK's letter to Birmingham jail to Freedom Riders, and it looks like the state is making a comeback as it attracts more black residents to come to the state. Number 6 is South Carolina, with 26.5% being black. If Alabama was ground zero for the civil rights movement, then South Carolina is ground zero for the current movement. From hate crimes to Confederate flags, this state has found itself in the news for all the wrong reasons. After decades of protests and a century and a half of disdain, it took until 2015 for the Confederate flag to finally be removed from the state capital of Charleston. The event that reignited this decades-old battle was the Charleston Massacre. On June 17, 2015, a mass shooter took the lives of 9 African-American people at a Bible study at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston. Despite all of this, the state has deeply rooted black history and culture and boasts many neighborhoods that are ideal for black families looking to live throughout the state, including Fort Mill, Columbia, Rock Hill, and Sumter. And no, this is not the site of the famous Fort Sumter. Many towns in South Carolina honor and celebrate their black heritage with yearly parades, festivals, monuments, museums, art galleries, and symposiums. The black community is thriving in South Carolina, despite it taking until 2015 for the capital to remove such a divisive and controversial symbol. Number 5 is Maryland, with 31.5% being black. This isn't too much of a shock given its proximity to DC and cities like Baltimore, which tend to attract a large black population. From its colonial days to statehood through today, Maryland has been shaped by African Americans who have contributed to the vibrant city's arts, culture, and history of the state. The story of their experience is one of perseverance, courage, and triumph over racism, spanning back to the horrors of enslavement, to the heroism of the Underground Railroad, the innovations of the Jazz Age, and unique contributions to art, science, and culture. Speaking of the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman is probably the most famous black person from Maryland. Born in Dorchester County in 1882, she was born into slavery, but escaped to freedom and became a conductor of the Underground Railroad. The other most notable black person from Maryland is Frederick Douglass. Born in Cordova circa 1817, he was born into slavery and escaped, then became active in the abolitionist movement and was instrumental in Lincoln's passing of the Emancipation Proclamation. In modern times, famous comedian and actress Monique and singer Toni Braxton also hail from Maryland. Dave Chappelle and Jada Pinkett Smith are also from Maryland. Number 4 is Georgia, with 31.7% being black. 5 of the top 21 cities in the US with the highest percent of black residents are found in Georgia. South Fulton, about a half hour southwest of Atlanta, is the city with the highest percentage of black residents in the nation at 93.3%. Atlanta is famous for having the highest number of black-owned businesses, with 8,663 in total, and this number of black-owned businesses has gone up by almost 17% between 2018 and 2020. Black Americans are the 3rd largest racial or ethnic group in the US, making up about 13% of the population. But less than 3% of all businesses are black-owned. This isn't the case in Georgia, where businesses are thriving. Georgia also has plenty of museums and monuments to honor black contributions to the U.S., including the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Park, located in the heart of Atlanta. Heading down to the coast, the city of Savannah is itself an antebellum museum, with its architecture built by wealth acquired on the backs of enslaved Africans. The whole state has a wealth of opportunity and community for black Americans, including politicians like Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens. Number 3 is Louisiana, with 34.3% being black. From Tyler Perry to Louis Armstrong, Louisiana is home to a wealth of black culture and cultural icons. Known for its Creole culture and Cajun food, this state has a lot to offer in terms of black culture. The Creole culture derives from people who are descendants from the inhabitants of Louisiana before it became a part of the United States during the period of both French and Spanish colonial rule. As an ethnic group, their ancestry is mainly of Louisiana French, Central African, West African, Spanish, and Native American origin. The Louisiana Creole community still to this day has strong links in cuisine, architecture, music, folklore, lifestyles, religion, and family values. Louisiana is just one small segment of the larger Creole family that stretches across the entire world, but it is the only part found in the United States. This unique history carries its legacy today and is evident to visitors who can experience the culture firsthand. Number 2 is Mississippi, with 39.2% being black. Mississippi is notorious for its racist legacy, with movies and books that highlights its sordid past. Ghosts of Mississippi and Till are just 2 of the movies that chronicle the events of the murders of Medgar Evers and Emmett Till, respectively. Medgar Evers was an activist and field secretary for the NAACP and was assassinated in 1963. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old boy visiting from Chicago who was murdered in cold blood in 1955 for whistling at a white woman. The all-white jury acquitted the murderers despite their blatant confessions. Though the last official recorded lynching in the U.S. happened in 1981, since the year 2000, it is estimated that there have been 8 lynchings in Mississippi. Despite this ongoing and deeply rooted racism, the nearly 40% of the population that is black has thrived. There are many black-owned businesses from a variety of sectors, and activists have been working tirelessly to improve the public school system. Under the most recent Superintendent of Education, Mississippi, the poorest state, caught up to the national average in 4th grade reading and math after long lagging the rest of the country. In fact, between 2013 and 2019, Mississippi posted the 2nd largest gains in the nation in education. Way to go, Mississippi. Before we get to number 1, let's look at the states with the lowest percentage of black Americans. Montana and Idaho come in dead last with only 1.06 and 1.08% respectively. This doesn't mean that they are all white, as Montana has a substantial percentage of Native American residents, but nonetheless, if you are a young business startup and are black, maybe these states aren't the best place to set up shop. Or maybe it is the best place, as you could be one of only a handful of black-owned businesses in the state. Number 1 is not a state, but a district. Washington, D.C. takes the number 1 spot with 49.4% being black. D.C. wins by a landslide, outdoing Mississippi by 10%. The nation's capital is one of the most diverse cities in the country, with people coming from all over the world in search of opportunity. Though he wasn't born in D.C., the city's most famous African-American resident was former President Barack Obama, who occupied none other than 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue when he lived at the White House. Unfortunately, from 2000 to 2020, the city saw a mass exodus of black residents, dropping from 59%. That exodus was explained when we talked about Alabama. Black residents are tired of over-gentrification, inflated housing costs, crumbling public schools, and a disconnect from community. Many are traveling to the southern states that they once fled. Still, D.C. has plenty of arts, culture, black history, black-owned business, a former black president, and a current black female vice president. So there is...
Alright, let's take a look at the 20 richest and biggest black-owned businesses in the USA as of 2023. And I guarantee you all that you probably have not heard of any of them. And if you have, I guarantee you probably didn't know that they were black-owned. Alright, so sit back. I got me something to eat. Y'all get you something to eat. It's about 15 minutes, so let's rock out. It's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.
Whenever we talk about businesses and companies in the United States, all the big businesses tend to be owned and controlled by whites, and you will hardly find one owned by a black person. Anytime blacks in the U.S. have tried to establish themselves throughout time, they're always being suppressed, stopped, and silenced in one way or another. Despite being oppressed for as long as we can recall, the blacks have still not given up. They keep on fighting and striving to the extent that we now have black billionaires in the USA. They run multiple businesses and employ thousands of people too. In this video, we are going to be seeing the 20 biggest and richest black-owned businesses in the United States of America in 2022. 20. Salamander Hotels and Resorts. This business is owned by Sheila Johnson, who is also a co-founder of Black Entertainment Television, BET. Salamander Hotels and Resorts is a 168-room luxury hotel, resort, and spa located in the Virginia countryside. This business generates about $220 million in revenue annually and has over 2,000 employees. The hotel is built on a 340-acre property and boasts a 230,000 square foot spa with many outdoor activities such as hiking, ziplining, and horseback riding. The resort took 10 years to build, finally opened in August 2013. 19. Devon Industrial Group. With CEO David Burnley as leader, this company employs over 70 employees and generates a whopping $234 million in revenue. It is a construction company located in Michigan and specializes in construction projects in various sectors, including commercial, healthcare, industrial, and educational.
That is an excellent business to be in. Excellent business to be in. Excellent business to be in. Construction, I mean, you really, especially when you own a group or a company that's this big, they're building everywhere, right? So, when real estate takes a dip, of course, construction takes a dip, but these companies, this is huge. I like this one. Well, I like the resort too. I'm trying to look up the resort. I think I'm gonna try and go visit that resort. It's in Virginia, so I'm gonna see what's up with that one of these days. But yeah, this is dope. Construction company. I wonder if they do houses. I'll have to look that up.
The Devon Industrial Group's main target market for its services is across the Midwestern states of the United States, with the headquarters in Detroit, Michigan. 18. Georgetown Metal Processing. This black-owned business is headed and run by Kirk Lewis with a team of over 30 people. This business generates approximately $235 million in revenues. It is a steel processing service center which specializes in blanking and warehousing. Its headquarters is located in Georgetown, Kentucky. They produce aluminum, flat-rolled steel, cold-rolled steel, coated and exposed steel products.
This is another excellent industry. This is an industry that I somewhat have worked in. You do not see black folks in this industry, generally speaking. You just don't, and there's good money in there. And I guarantee you, they got a lot of money running through there because they said there's only 30 employees and they're bringing in 250 million or something like that. This is a good one. I didn't even know we were in this sector. But yeah, anything with precious metals or metals of most sort. As a business model, excellent. Very expensive startup costs because of machining and everything, or machines and such, but excellent business to be in.
It boasts an 80,000 square foot facility, which is climate controlled due to the nature of their work. Now's the time to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Yes, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get alerts when we upload interesting videos like this one. Let's get back to our video. 17. Bird Electric. This company is led by Dale Lefebvre and employs over 580 people. It generates $238 million in annual revenues. It was founded in 2004 and is a leading full-service electric company. Services provided by the company include transmission, maintenance, instrumentation and electrical construction, automation, and storm restoration. Bird Electric operates in over 10 states in the United States. 16. Baldwin Richardson Foods. This is another Blackhound business with Eric Johnson as CEO. Generating a whopping $252 million annually, this company employs over 350 people. It is a leading custom ingredients manufacturer for the food and beverage industry. It is a family-owned company originally founded as Baldwin Ice Cream in Chicago, Illinois in 1921. In 1997, 5 years after current CEO Eric Johnson purchased the company, Baldwin Ice Cream Company purchased Richardson Foods, creating Baldwin Richardson Foods. Over the next 20 years, the retail business grew to become a custom ingredients manufacturer, making many kinds of liquid products for the food industry, including condiments, sauces, and syrups. 15. Adams Communication and Engineering Technology. This company, which generates a whopping $253 million in revenue, is headed by Charles Adams as founder and CEO. It was founded in 1999 in Maryland and employs over 380 people. It is a leading technology company providing services for government defense, intelligence, and other federal agencies of the U.S. The company provides products and solutions in information systems, healthcare, aerospace, and electronics. 14. Millennium Steel of Texas. We can't talk of black-owned businesses without talking about Millennium Steel of Texas. This company employs just 86 people, but generates a whopping $266 million in revenues headed by Andrea Jackson. It was founded in San Antonio, Texas by Henry Jackson in 2005. Millennium Steel of Texas is a steel company providing automotive-grade outer body steel sheets to automakers across the state of Texas. Their services include steel processing, warehousing, and storage. 13.
I'm telling y'all that precious metal industry is no joke, and if you can get a job in there, it's hard work, but it's, the pay is generally above standard, and it's good, man. I love seeing that there's several now that we just watched, or a few. It looks like this might be another one that are in that space. Like I said, I've worked in that space, and you just don't see black employees at all. And to know that we got a few business owners in that space is that's refreshing to see.
Global Automotive Alliance Corporation. This company, led by the founder and CEO William Pickard, is an American black-owned business that employs over 1,500 people and generates over $275 million in revenues. Global Automotive Alliance is a holding company of many different companies originally founded in 1989. It is a consolidation of logistics and automotive manufacturing companies with 8 plants in the United States and Canada. It supplies the top 3 United States automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Fiat Chrysler. Also, it supplies to other global companies such as Boeing, Mercedes-Benz, Starbucks, and Home Depot. It seems there is so much money in the steel business because the next black-owned business on our list is still in the steel industry. 12. Millennium Steel Service.
I'm telling y'all, we in there, man. There's a lot of money in there. We in there. This is like number 5, I think, in this sector.
This is a sister company to the Millennium Steel of Texas and still run by the same CEO, Andrea Jackson. It employs only 51 people but generates over $312 million in revenue. It is an automotive steel processing and warehousing company based in Princeton, Indiana. It provides warehousing and supply chain management, including inventory management, inspection, slitting, and information technology system services. 11. Fair Oaks Farms. This is another black-owned business, but this time around, we are in the food industry. This business generates $342 million in revenues with an employee count of 257. It is headed by Michael Thompson, who acts as President and Chief Executive Officer. It is a food services company which produces fresh, ready-to-cook, and fully cooked beef, pork, and poultry products. Products offered by the company include sausages, cured meats, smoked meats, and canned meats. It was founded in 1985 in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. Fair Oaks Farms distributes its products to a variety of national and international restaurant chains and food companies. 10. Heidewer's Petroleum Co. This business is in the oil sector, and you know when there is oil involved, there is also much money involved. This company was founded by Stephen Hightower, and he is still the acting CEO. His business generates a whooping $435 million in revenues, alongside his team of 52 employees. It is a petroleum products distribution company, which he founded in 1982. Coming from a family of entrepreneurs, Hightower built the company from humble beginnings to a well-established business through persistence, drive, and determination. It is a family business providing services in bulk fuel delivery, HPC fleet cards, inventory management, emergency fuel, and supply chain management. 9.
The fact that the last one was able to secure or get into the oil industry as an entrepreneur in the 80s.
Wow.
I think I want to read up on him a little bit more. That's insane.
Right.
That in the 80s, someone that looked like us was able to break into arguably one of the richest industries in the world. I mean, you got places like Dubai and other places in the Middle East that were built off of oil, right? So, and he was able to figure it out and got a $400 million annual generating company out of it.
Urban One. This company has over 1,000 employees and generates $440 million in revenue. Its CEO is Alfred Liggins III. Based in Silver Spring, Maryland, this company is a publishing and broadcasting company primarily providing content aimed at the African American community. Self-titled as the leading voice speaking to Black America, Urban One has been the largest distributor of urban content in the United States since 1980. It is the largest Black-owned broadcasting company in the USA, with 53 radio stations, cable network TV called One, digital media company called iOne, and news provider News One all under its belt. 8. The Anderson DuBose Company. This business generates over $500 million in revenues. To be specific, it generates $703 million in revenues with just 543 employees, thanks to the good job of its leader and CEO, Warren Anderson. Launched in 1991, the Anderson DuBose Company is a distribution company providing logistics services to McDonald's and Chipotle fast food restaurants in the states of Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and West Virginia in the United States. Their service roster includes transportation of groceries, Happy Meal toys, paper products, dairy products, frozen meat and fish, and other food products. 7. Thompson Hospitality. This company employs over 6,000 Americans and generates $760 million in revenue and is headed by CEO Warren Thompson. This company is a food and facilities management company providing hospitality services in the United States. It is the largest minority-owned food service and one of the largest retail food and facilities management companies in the United States. Thompson Hospitality Corporation was originally founded as a restaurant company in 1992 and has now branched out to offer all services of the hospitality industry. In 2010, the company was awarded the Black Enterprise Award of Company of the Year. In 2017, Washington Business Journal ranked it #1 minority-owned company. In 2019, they were again recognized by Washington Business Journal as the largest independent employer company. 6. Bridgman Foods. Apparently one of the biggest employers when it comes to black-owned businesses. It employs over 20,000 Americans and generates $870 million in revenues. Its founder and CEO is Ryan Bridgman. Located in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Bridgman Foods is a part of the fast food and quick service restaurants industry. Formerly known as Manna Incorporated, Bridgman Foods was founded in 1988 in Louisville, Kentucky. Currently, Bridgman Foods affiliates operate 139 Wendy's restaurants, 27 Golden Corral Buffet and Grill restaurants, 83 facilities Fazoli's Restaurants, 6 Marks Feed Store Restaurants, 7 Blaze Pizza Restaurants, Napa River Grill, Jimmy John's, and the Laver Bar. 5.
I've heard of Jimmy John's and Blaze Pizza. Did not know that they were supported by one of the largest food distributors. So, still, we're down to, what number are we at?
Restaurants, Napa River Grill, Jimmy John's, and the Laver Bar. 5. Modular.
We've gone through 15 of them, and I personally have not heard of any of at least the parent companies. This is interesting.
Assembly Innovations. This business generates about $1.4 billion in revenues with over 259 employees. It is headed by no other than the great Billy Vickers. Modular Assembly Innovations is one of United States' largest black-owned businesses. Based in Dublin, Ohio, Modular Assembly Innovations is the parent corporation of a group of certified minority-owned companies part of the machinery manufacturing industry. Modular Assembly Innovations companies include Great Lakes Assemblies, Gulf Shore Assemblies, Indiana Assemblies, and North American Assemblies. These are all award-winning, Tier 1 suppliers of automotive parts to customers in both the United States and abroad. 4. Coca-Cola Beverages Florida. Troy Taylor is chairman and CEO of Coca-Cola Beverages Florida, LLC, which was established as an independent, privately held Coca-Cola bottler on May 29, 2015. Coca-Cola Beverages. This company generates over $1.3 billion in revenue with its over 4,500 employees. It has over 18 million consumers across 47 counties of the state of Florida. This includes all the major metropolitan markets of Jacksonville, Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. Coca-Cola Beverages Florida LLC, or Coke Florida, as it's known for short, manufactures, sells, and distributes over 600 products of the giant Coca-Cola company, as well as many other partner companies. This company has received a number of awards, including the Minority Business Enterprise Supplier of the Year Class 4 honor in 2020. 3.
I mean, obviously we've heard of Coca-Cola, but I didn't even know that Coca-Cola operates like that. I think I'm a little confused on that one. I'm gonna have to do further research on that one myself. It sounded like they have some sort of licensing agreement with Coca-Cola to be able to sell in that region of Florida, and yeah, that's their entire business is like a broken off section of Coca-Cola. Wow. So I didn't even know Coca-Cola moved like that. Yeah, I'd be careful. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I guess you could say we heard of that one, but not really. Coca-Cola Beverages Florida is the name with a whole different logo and everything. Yeah, I have to look into that one.
Bridgewater Interiors LLC. Ron Hall Jr. is the founder, president, and chief executive officer of Bridgewater Interiors LLC. Bridgewater is an automotive interiors manufacturing firm specializing in just-in-time assembly, sequencing, and delivery of seating systems. This company generates over $1.9 billion in revenues and employs over 2,000 Americans. The company does assembly for 15 car models belonging to 4 automotive manufacturers. Bridgewater Interiors has 4 facilities at its 2 locations, 3 in Michigan and 1 in Alabama. Bridgewater Interiors LLC has received a number of accolades throughout the years. In 2013, the U.S. Department of Commerce, through its Minority Business Development Agency, named Bridgewater Interiors its Manufacturer of the Year. General Motors, Honda, and Ford have all recognized Bridgewater Interiors for their quality and service. 2. Act One Group. This company generates a whooping $2.8 billion in revenues, having about 2,500 employees. Its president and its CEO is Janice Bryant Howard. Act One Group is a privately held corporation based in Torrance, California, founded in 1964. The Act One Group, stylized as Act One Group, is a global enterprise that provided employment, workforce management, and procurement solutions to a wide range of industries. Act One is the largest debt-free, woman-owned, minority-owned workforce management company in the United States.
The largest debt-free, woman-owned. And they're right up the street. Torrance, California.
Okay. My counter's wearing down, but shout out to his Black Premise channel. The reason why, why I showed this video is because I want, even though there are sundown towns, even though that there are blacks leaving black people that are leaving cities, but they probably want to know where is to go, what companies are out there. It can be some black entrepreneurs that are looking to do business with people, such as these businesses. So that was one of my. But shout out to all the channels, Travel G and his channel, and basically to be informative of, even though it's something so negative, as far as the environment of states and cities where you live at. Sometimes you have to get out and go, if you can, go to other places that is more opportunities. Maybe you might have to go to Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, if you're a black person. If you're a black person, you can go to North Carolina, Virginia, DC. Well, DC is kind of expensive, but maybe, and there's some places probably in Texas. But this is motivation for some black people, even though and it's be careful where you live at in the United States. Well, that's why I played that guy's video, because they're just sundown towns, and make sure that you don't come across a sundown town in modern America right now. But even though with something like that, there's always, wherever there's evil, there's good. Wherever there's good, there's evil. So you gotta take the grain with the salt. But I hope that this inspires somebody to all this not bad. But sometimes it can get kind of depressing, especially with the racial disparities as far as black children, as far as the schools, and even the housing environment, the EPA environment. Just being black, it seems like they try to make you suffer. And it's like, you don't have to live in them places and have to suffer. Go to some other places in the country that have a better quality of life. And sometimes you might have to leave, get up and leave where you used to, normally where you might have to leave the Midwest, or wherever, if you're Black American, wherever you might have to leave California, to go where opportunities at, since the shift and be in greater in numbers as far as business and aspect, and every aspect. It seems like Georgia is one of the spots to go to right now, in the Carolinas. And if you live in some place, Mississippi is kind of like, I don't know about Mississippi. Because it seems like it's a spirit over that city. That's poverty, and then you got the politicians are not really doing well by its people down in Mississippi, even though they have a heavy black population. But I wouldn't, if I was, open up a business, I wouldn't try Mississippi. I'd probably try Georgia, maybe some place in Alabama. Probably somewhat up to speed, but Mississippi seemed like that kind of place would kind of keep you backwards. Louisiana, that's a tough one right there. But even though the celebrities are from Louisiana, but I guess it takes someone from Louisiana, they would know. But yeah, I don't think I could live in Mississippi. That's my personal feeling. It's like nothing's down there. It's ranked in other like one of the poorest states, the quality of life, and other factors. That it's kind of backwards in some parts of the other parts of the country. So you're a black person watching this video, and I know some people. Why they just exclude it for black people? Because it's just that this is right now, due to disparities and everything, black people are one of the lowest ones on the totem pole that's going through the worst in this country. So that's why I'm addressing the black people. To anybody other than black, they'll probably wonder why is it. It could be not all people, and that can be discouraging. Knowing that when you're a black person, you hear about your education, your health, lack affordability, opportunities. You gotta go through it 10 times worse than other nationalities and even new people that's coming to this country. So you with something you need to escape, because you see it on the news, social media, these negative things. So I just want to bring a positive spin on it. Like I say, okay, this is where you can go if you don't like it where you're at in your city or your state. You can go to one of these other states, and if you're a black person, want to be around black people that's up mobility, that's trying to live a quality, better life, I think they would. If you're leaving places where it was once predominantly black, like Detroit, Cleveland, New York, there's other places that the cost of living too. Then you got to look at this, if you have children or anything like that, the education wise, do you want to raise them in with the environment, productive environment? And if you can get to a black middle class, maybe in Maryland, somewhere, if you can afford to do that, or in Georgia, that would probably be the best thing to do. But anyway, I just, again, shout out to his channels for showing that, because a lot of people don't know that we in it. And I hope like this video would encourage some black people or being entrepreneurs that you can do it, that somehow you can do it. And if here someone's going to give you a chance. It's going to be ain't going to be easy, but someone out there, so someone gave them billionaires a chance. It could be you, and one of these days it could be your story. And you just never know. You just got to give it a try and get away from the people that can't say it's impossible. You can't. You look at people that travel across. I was thinking about this today. That you get some people that never been outside their state, their city, their town, and they kind of discourage other people from doing it because they want to keep them miserably and bound with negativity than anything. And sometimes that negativity gets old and generational boring. So that's why it's good to get out and get to another place. And even though you can always come back and see your family and friends, but if you want to progress, you might have to pick up, get up and go. And some people, like any other people, don't want to. They're comfortable where they at. They don't want to move. They used to stay in their past. But there's other places that move and progressing in the present. And the only way you could to get into the present is that you got to let go of the past. So this is something to think about. And a lot of people don't leave their cities or towns because of that. This should encourage you. So you see how the economy is. So it's going to kind of push you into doing it. So I hope you take some note from this video, like and subscribe, and share it with somebody. And for bringing that information, you can go to this channel, and hopefully this will be a solution to what's keep throwing up as a problem. There's always a solution. All right then, guys, you take it easy. Be blessed till next time. We'll see you on the next video.